Hey, what's up everybody? I'm Jesse, you're watching JLS Comics, and today we're doing a spoiler-free review of SHAZAM. The latest film out of the DCEU franchise. It is a standalone film. That's sort of the direction that they've been going in. And I gotta tell you guys, I really liked this movie. We had Wonder Woman, which was kind of a change in direction for the DC live action films. And then we got to Aquaman, which was pretty fun as well. And now we're here with SHAZAM. So I really think that DC has sort of course corrected there. I got to see this at the premiere at the beginning of March, so almost a full month early, which was really amazing. I had to kind of hold my tongue for a while until the full embargo lifted. You could see my other thoughts when the social media embargo lifted back on March 5th. But let's talk about the film. Let's talk about what we liked, maybe a couple opportunities, and at the end we'll give a rating. I'm very curious as well what you guys think, so definitely once you see the movie, come back, let me know your thoughts, your rating, your feedback for it. Definitely want to hear all that. So this movie is directed by David F. Sandberg. He is known, he did Lights Out, he did Annabelle Creation, so he's a guy that really is familiar with the horror genre, but that's not entirely what this movie is. You can tell from the trailers, and from my social media reaction, I said that I laughed throughout the entire film. It is 2 hours and 12 minutes, PG-13, and it was very funny, but not in a, it did get over the top. The plot of this movie, high level, again, it's not spoilers, is you have this 14-year-old foster kid, Billy Batson, played by Asher Angel, kind of jumps around between foster homes. He's looking for his mom, who had left him when they were at a park, didn't know why, kind of bouncing around between those, running away. He meets up with this family where you have Freddie and Mary and Darla, the whole family's there, and he kind of is taken in by this new family. And so throughout this, he learns the importance and the value of family. That's a very heavy theme for this movie, is family. And that plays as well into the villain side. Mark Strong is phenomenal as Dr. Sivana, Dr. Thaddeus Sivana, they call him Thad. You get to hear about his backstory when he was a boy, his father issues, so to speak, the ties to that, and also why he's on this quest to discover who or what this wizard SHAZAM was. Was it real? Was it mass hysteria? He's not sure. And I will touch again on that in a moment. So let's talk about the comedy. The comedy was right on point, again, all the way through. I mean, if you think about it, this is sort of almost fish out of water, coming of age sort of story. So you have this group of kids, and they really evoke some of the best things about, you know, the group of kids from the Goonies, group of kids from Stranger Things, or even the movie It, where Jack Dylan Grazer, who plays Freddie Freeman, also played in. But they have this really great dynamic. Everybody has a unique character, their own way to have their comedy based on their character, so it's not bland, generic. It does match the character and what they would do. I really like that. But going back to the story and the coming of age piece of it, you're a boy, you finally have the ability or the look to be an adult. So what do? You go out and you try to buy beer for the first time, or cigarettes, or you try to sneak into the strip club and just kind of see what you can get away with. You're still pretty immature, so you're trying to do these funny things. And same with the superpowers. You just realize you got some superpowers. It's amazing things. You're not quite sure what they are yet, so you gotta do some tests and stuff. But again, you're 14 years old, so what are you gonna do? You're gonna go and play with them. You're gonna go and shoot things with your fingers and try to run fast and see if you can fly, or, you know, test out your invisibility, or, you know, you may be put in these situations where you might have to rescue someone, but not only are you immature, you're still a boy, you don't know how to use all these powers yet, or what the powers might be, so you're gonna make mistakes, and you're gonna falter, you're gonna be scared, you're immature. One of SHAZAM's powers is the wisdom of Solomon. That's the S, but we have to differentiate maturity from wisdom. You're still this boy, haven't learned the wisdom yet, but it's there. But that maturity level is still kind of overpowering that, especially for this, what's essentially an origin story. So let's talk about that as well. This is an origin story. Those have been done numerous times, very familiar tropes there. And yes, you have those here, those very familiar tropes. However, the way this is done is very unique. We haven't seen this before with the family, with a foster brother that's also your sidekick. So it felt very familiar and yet very unique as well. So I like that a lot. The other thing to mention as well with this movie is that yes, it does take place very firmly within the DCEU, and they let you know that sort of indirectly. Freddie will be wearing an Atlantis lifeguard t-shirt, or they have the merch. There's one scene, and you see it in the trailers, where Dr. Sivana and SHAZAM are fighting. They end up at sort of a gift shop at a mall. At the gift shop, you see all the DC collectibles and the Batman plushies and all these things. So it's these ancillary things. Freddie has a bullet casing that was used from one of the movies, apparently, where Superman was shot. Obviously, he was bulletproof, so it didn't go through. So people would collect these types of things, give it a certificate of authenticity. So they're collectibles, they're very real. And so when, you know, SHAZAM is learning about these powers, it's very much part of his world. It's new to him, but it's not completely out of the realm of impossibility in this world that he lives in. The other thing as well, I know that some people may have a concern or question about SHAZAM and the way he's acting based on the source material. I can understand that, you know, being sort of a purist of the source material. However, for very long now, the films have deviated from the source material. Sometimes they'll just even take just the character's name and they'll be very different. Think about Negasonic Teenage Warhead with Deadpool, for example. Basically just the name only. They've done that with a lot of the stories as well. Civil War, Infinity War, all these movies where they've pulled from the source material but made it their own. So for me, the fact that this SHAZAM, Zachary Levi's SHAZAM, Chuck's SHAZAM, is not entirely exactly like the SHAZAM from the Golden Age, or from, you know, the power of SHAZAM, or, you know, the new SHAZAM that we have now, the new run through DC Comics. It's okay. It works for me. I think of it as an alternate universe in the multiverse of all of this. You know, the animated films, the comics, the live action films, they're all different universes within that multiverse. So in that regard, it works for me perfectly fine. But I did want to touch on the Dr. Sivana thing. We did get really good backstory on him, kind of what his motivation would be, what drives him. So one of my opportunities for the film would be that I wish that we had a little bit more about who SHAZAM is now. He works for, or with his father. He has a massive amount of wealth, his own employees, and obviously this direction with kind of the runes and the symbols and figuring out what those are. But I don't know much more about that. Like, how is he able to do that? What is this company, you know, all about, you know, outside of that? We're not quite sure. So that part was very mysterious to me. And then the action in this movie was so awesome when they're flying around, doing all these things. Even when he's kind of first encountering Dr. Sivana, they're learning who each other are. I know that the focus of this is the origin aspect of it itself, but I wish that we had gotten to the Sivana versus SHAZAM piece a little bit quicker. Again, 2 hours and 12 minutes, kind of more than halfway through it when they first meet up. So I wish that that was a little bit sooner in the film. The other person that really stands out is the wizard himself. It's Djimon Hounsou. He played a phenomenal wizard. He was out there at the Rock. I keep wanting to call it the Rock of Ages. It's the Rock of Eternity. That's where kind of what the lair is. That's also where you have the gargoyles, who are the 7 deadly sins that Dr. Sivana ends up using for his devious schemes. That's where all that is. He was very phenomenal. He has this gravitas and this weight to the way he portrays really any character, that he brought that to the forefront here as the wizard. He felt like this all-powerful, godly being when he was standing there with his staff and saying, "Hold my staff." Funny joke, by the way, with that. Wait till you get to that, it's funny. Actually, there's two funny jokes relating to the staff that I wish I could tell you. I don't want to spoil it though, but they're pretty funny. So that's high level, spoiler free, my thoughts on this film. I really enjoyed it. It is up there for me with Wonder Woman as the best of the DC. If not best, up there, it very well could be top 10 for me for superhero movies as a whole. And I know that's saying quite a bit, but once you see this, I think you'll understand what I mean there. The pacing for this throughout, it felt really quick. Again, 2 hours and 12 minutes, but it felt really fast. It has some good, when they do slow down, there's some more comedy there, like when they're in school or he's learning about the family or they're eating and they're doing like all hands, you know, everybody puts their hands out type of stuff. And it's funny stuff. So it's slowed down to let you catch your breath, but it's not so slow where you wish you could just kind of fast forward that to the next part. So I like that. That was really good balance there, which made it great pacing. This is a role for Zachary Levi. Of course, we have to talk about him, that he was born to play, man. Just like Ryan Reynolds with Deadpool, Zachary Levi epitomizes what it means in this world to be Shazam. He is absolutely perfect at playing the 14-year-old boy trapped in the adult's body. Amazement and wonderment, the comedy, the humor, the maturity / immaturity that he portrays is right on point, and it plays extremely well next to Jack Dylan Grazer as Freddie, who I believe is going to be a huge star. He's already got 2 huge hits. He has so many funny moments in there, and they play off of each other. Both Asher Angel, Zachary Levi, and Jack play off of each other, whether he's Billy or Shazam. They don't miss a beat there. It just naturally feels like the same person. CGI was right on point as well. The way they do the 7 deadly sins was really smart. They're kind of like this like thick, foggy sort of being, so it doesn't have to be photorealistic in that regard, because obviously that's not something that you can compare to in this world. So that was really well done, really smartly played on Warner's part. So what I give this movie for a rating, I'm going high with this one, guys. This gets a 9.2 out of 10 for me. Absolutely love this movie. Can't wait for you guys to see it. I think you'll love it just as much as I did. And again, once you do see it, definitely come back here. Tell me your thoughts, your rating, your feedback, your feelings on it. Love to talk about this some more with you, and I can't wait to get into the spoilers. So hopefully that will come up pretty soon. Well, I can't wait to talk about that. So that's it. This is Jesse here with JLS Comics, and I will see you in the next video.